Morning everyone, hope you're all well. I'm obviously recording from home today, it's not in school, so a little bit of a different environment. I've got to look after my own lad today, which is going okay. Pulling my hair out a little bit at times, as I'm sure we all are. So I think today I'm going to answer a question someone asked yesterday about advice on working from home and the guilt you can feel working from home sometimes. I think I probably first experienced this when I was doing my degree, when Jay was first born. A lot of the time when I was studying, when I was working, I felt guilty that I should have been with Jay, and when I was with Jay I felt guilty thinking I should have been studying. And I think it's probably, I'm saying it with my wife at the moment, that she's feeling quite guilty because she's working from home. But Jay is obviously here as well. He's a bit older, he's 11, so he is fairly independent in some ways. But I can imagine that, with younger children, and with a few younger children maybe, then it's even more difficult. Because you're still trying to work, but you want to be giving them the quality time. And I know the homeschooling thing, when you look on the internet, everyone's showing the ways that they're homeschooling, which is great. But along with that comes some guilt, I think, sometimes. So I think the way I dealt with it was, I used to allocate time sort of in my head. I used to think, well, okay, this needs to be done, but then I'm going to make sure that I spend time with Jay. And then I didn't have a strict routine. I know some children will benefit from strict routines, strict structures, if you like, and some people, some adults as well. But I didn't. I just sort of had loose plans in my head, which would make it a little bit easier. I'd also get him involved, so I'd sit him next to me. He might be drawing, colouring, whatever, doing his homework, and I still do this now, and he might sit with me, and then what he also sees then is he sees me working, so it's sort of giving a good work ethic. I know my wife does it as well. She'll sit Jay next to her while she's working and he's doing his homework, and then they can still talk and they can still interact. He'll start asking questions about what she's doing, she can sort of help him with his work. And then you're together, because I think you don't always have to be playing or learning or doing something. Just being together sometimes is enough, and I think that can get rid of the guilt, rather than just locking yourself away. I know that sometimes if you're on video calls or whatever, then obviously you have to have that time, but when you're not locking yourself away, then try and involve and just try and be around each other still as much as you can. Without being around each other too much that you're pulling your hair out. So hopefully that's given a little bit of advice. If anyone wants me to elaborate on that a little bit more, let me know and I will. I'll try. But I think what I'll sort of talk about now is a lot of what we'll all be finding at the moment being at home with our children, with our partners, family, whatever. Is possibly being quite negative with each other sometimes, and losing your rag, losing your cool, finding yourself in this negative spiral sometimes of you might find yourself nagging, you might be, any children might be watching, you might find yourself getting nagged at, and it's trying to break that cycle, because that can become a cycle of just catching somebody and people and each other doing the wrong thing. So what I want to talk about today and sort of maybe give you a bit of advice is try and catch each other doing the right thing. Do it in coaching all the time. When I was doing my coaching badges, it was always catch them doing the right thing, because on the sidelines, from a football point of view, it's very easy to go, well, you should have done this and why have you done that, and what. So it's very easy to be negative, it's harder to be positive. So you've got to make a point of training yourself to be a little bit more positive with the people around you. So try and catch the people around you doing the right things, particularly you know, for the adults listening to this, find your children doing the right thing. They might do 100 things that drive you insane in the day, but they might do 2 or 3 that really, if you focus on them, make you smile and make a big deal of it. Make a big deal of it, and the more of a big deal you make of those things, you might find a reduction in the negative things that are happening. Give it a go. So today, like I said in my post this morning, let's focus on the good. It's very easy for us all to get very sucked into a negative way of thinking at the moment. Like I said yesterday, we're watching the news, looking at social media, the guilt of looking at what other people are doing on social media. Oh, I should be doing that. I should be setting my lessons up like this at home. I should be doing that sort of PE at home. Do your own thing. Do what works for you and your family. But think positively. Find the good in everything that you're doing. I think that if you can start looking for the good, focusing on the good. We're not perfect, and we're still gonna nag, because that's what we do sometimes. And no one expects us to be perfect, but it's a mindset thing. We've got to try and change a mindset from being negative to positive, and that does take practice. Give it a go today. Let us know how you're getting on, if you can, if you want to, if you can be bothered. Otherwise, just give it a go. I'm gonna talk. I might talk a little bit later on, or I might leave it till tomorrow. I'm gonna talk about some practices that we can do at home to help with that positive thinking. Some meditation, some mindfulness. Talk about a bit more about what that is. People just think it's sitting going on. It's not always like that. There are elements. But anyway, I'll talk about that later or tomorrow. But listen, have a good day. Sun's shining again, long may that last. And I'll speak to you soon. Cheers.